Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week I take a look at some upcoming races in Hong Kong and try to isolate some aspect of the race that might lead us to backing the winner. Well, Saturday racing once again in Hong Kong this week, and the first race we're going to take a look at is race 9, where our winning factor is the trainer. So this is a Class 3, 1200 metres, and there will be cases made here for horses like Gummy Gummy, the consistent Lifeline Express. Super Legends also racing well, but I think most people will see this race as really revolving around the performance of one horse, David Hall trained Magnifique. And that's how I'm going to prepare for the race. So the backstory of Magnifique: he's a lightly raced young horse. He was impressive, winning his first 2 starts in Class 4 earlier in the season. And then just on paper, it looks like maybe he didn't make the grade going up to Class 3 in March as a 1.6 favourite when he finished out of the placings. But the video that we're going to see shows there was a bit more to it than that. So this is race 532, he's in gate 8, red and white colours, and Magnifique begins just okay and gets a bump from another runner, but jockey Brenton Avdulla is keen to get him forward from the awkward draw, and despite the slow first section, he finds it no easy task. A number of others boot up inside, making life difficult, and Magnifique gets stuck out there, getting no peace at any stage as the pace increases through the run. And that extra work in the straight takes its toll. The youngster drops out at the finish. And after that performance, trainer David Hall decided to give the youngster a break. And that's something that David Hall does very well. Now, we're going to see a graphic now for trainers performing with horses off a lengthy break. We often talk about these breaks between runs with respect to trainers who do well when horses come back quickly after another race. But that's a different set of successful trainers to the ones on this list when they get a longer break. Now, this is 100+ days, and you see the performances over the last 10 years with Hong Kong trainers, and there's Hall right at the top. A superior performer on all metrics in this sector, but a long way in front of market expectations, so he also represents betting value. And if you're looking for something more visual as far as what we expect from Magnifique coming off his 104-day break on Saturday, well, there is his recent trial form as well. This is his latest on June 26, and we see him begin well here again in those red and white colours, and he quickly leads from another of Saturday's runners, Super Legends. And Magnifique, well, he soon gets out to a big break here in the sloppy conditions. It's actually quite deceptive as the trial was slowly run, and he gets out running keenly. No one else really wants to chase, but he cruises around and wins easily. And that was his second recent trial. Both those trials have been good, and when we look at the map for Saturday's race, I think there's a few pluses there for Magnifique as well. We have a leader here, Northern Fireball, who is drawn outside, and that can generate a worthwhile speed in a race as a horse like him comes across. But at the same time, I don't see an awful lot of competition for him for the front as he does that. So the pace may or may not be up to average tempo. But either way, I don't think it's going to be any harm for horses racing near the lead. And that means a positive for Gummy Gummy, for Super Legends and Magnifique. But a negative for a rival horse like Lifeline Express, who is well drawn, but we know he lacks early pace. So the tip from me in race 9, Magnifique, his winning factor, the trainer. And I think there'll be plenty of people with the opinion that this promising young horse brings the best form into Saturday's race, but there is that query over him coming off a 104-day break. Well, I think that we've shown both with the trials and with David Hall's particularly good record with horses coming off this sort of a break that he has all those bases covered. The second race I want to take a look at for Saturday is race 10, and our winning factor here, the pace. So this is the fast class race of the day, Class 2, 1200 metres, and there'll be plenty of focus on the last start winner, Master of My Universe, with Zach Purton and John Size teaming up again. David Eustace trained 3-year-old Colourful King has looked very promising in a brief career so far, and the consistent Dancing Code and Heiress Nova, now up a grade from a Class 3 win, also look big chances. But for me, the focus is very much on Master of My Universe and Colourful King as the main players. Master of My Universe, well, he's easy to find when you pick up the form guide. He's had 9 starts, 4 wins, hasn't really run a bad race yet in his career, and this is his latest win in Class 3. This is race 723, he's in Gate 1, pink colours, and Master of My Universe jumps well, not always a given with this horse, and a slow first section helps him out here because he's able to use that draw and find a place in midfield, saving ground and certainly closer than we've seen him at times in races. When the sprint home happens, Purton weaves through between horses in the straight, the 4-year-old produces his characteristic finish and he scrapes home. No fancy margin there for Master of My Universe, but still a win full of merit as Gate 1 and some good navigation from Zac Purton enabled him to overcome a race that wasn't set up for a run-on horse. Now, a barrier was the biggest problem for Colourful King at his latest run. Now, he's mostly run at 1,000 metres. This was his first attempt at 1,200 metres at Happy Valley, and it really didn't work out. This is race 736. He's in Gate 4 here in yellow and purple colours, and Colourful King gets out of the gates well, but there is plenty of pace here, thanks in part to Harmony and Blessed and Tomodachi Kokoro, both runners in this race on Saturday. And despite what looked quite a good draw on paper, Andrea Atzeni is having trouble getting closer than 3 wide on Colourful King, so his stamina gets a real test at his first 1,200 metre run. Perhaps it cost him the win in the end, but he's very brave in defeat, fighting on strongly for second. Now, at first glance, Saturday's race looks tricky for both of our main players, but of course they do have different racing styles. Colourful King has speed and can push forward, but you can see on the map here he also has plenty of pace under him from Call Me Glorious, Lady's Choice, Tomodachi Kokoro and Harmony Blessed, but that can also cause some problems for others trying to get forward. So although Master of My Universe doesn't have a lot of early speed and has a wide gate, so there's no question he's going to get well back this time, maybe back to last, he might get some help from the pace here, tiring out those horses nearer the front. So the tip from me in race 10, Master of My Universe. His winning factor, the pace. I think he's an easy one to find on form and he's the likely favourite, but he might have been a risky favourite from the wide gate with his lack of tactical speed if he didn't have some pluses coming to him from the way the race is run. But I think we can see there's plenty of pace here. Zac Purton can take his time and bring the horse with a big finish as the leaders are failing. Well, that's it from the winning factor this week. Good luck on Saturday. We'll see you next time.